What is up? Bad. Hello everybody, Snooze VGC. Today I'm going to be looking at a Pokemon that I think could be good in Sword and Shield, specifically for Trick Room. So like I said before, we're going to be going over a Pokemon that we know is in the decks. Now we don't know everything about the Galar decks, obviously. We have to wait for the games to come out, sadly, for that to happen. But I wanted to look at something that I believe will be the premier Trick Room setter of 2020. If Porygon Z isn't in the game, of course. And that's Dusclops. Dusclops, actually looking at it, is fairly impressive. Just some quick comparisons between Dusclops and Porygon 2. And I do Porygon 2 because I started VGC seriously in 2017 when I won that regional in Utah. And during my time in 2017, and even I think a little bit of 2018, Porygon 2 was the Trick Room setter. It is so bulky and it's so strong with access to ice and electric coverage and recover. So a quick comparison here is Ice Beam, Thunderbolt, Recover on Porygon. So Dusclops can learn Ice Beam. I think it learns Thunderbolt as well, but the differences in special attack, it's too much to really, run that on a Dusclops. And another thing that Porygon 2 has over Dusclops is the reliable recover, to recover 50% of your HP whenever you need to. That was something that was really huge for Porygon 2, was so that it could set up multiple Trick Rooms before the opponent had a chance to really get rid of it. On the other hand, Dusclops has its own pros. So it has access to Nightshade, which will do a guaranteed, it does, damage equal to the user's level. So it does a guaranteed at VGC 50 damage. And honestly, that's I think about 30% of most Pokemon's HP. So you can whittle down opponents with Nightshade. You also have access to Will-O-Wisp and Pain Split. And Will-O-Wisp and Pain Split are really fun to use. So you can, for one, you're slower than Snorlax, which is going to be in the decks, and we know that Snorlax paired with Mimikyu is a dangerous combo. And you're slower than both of those, so you can get the Will-O-Wisps off and burn them. And Pain Split, because of the differences in HP between most Pokemon and Dusclops, actually takes a good chunk out of their HP when you're getting a little bit low. For example, I was testing it and I just wanted to see how much you could get from a Snorlax. The Snorlax had got me down pretty low, and I used Pain Split and it brought me back up to 95%. Just because it has such huge HP and this doesn't have any. So there's pros and cons between the two. Obviously Porygon 2 I think is still the better choice because of the recover and the higher maybe damage or coverage that you can get. But Dusclops I think is going to be really fun to use if there isn't any other great Trick Room setters in the game. I did some calculations between the two just to see how it was comparable, because as you can see, the HP on Dusclops is very, very low, but its defenses are very impressive. But Porygon Z is just really balanced all the way through its HP and defenses. So I wanted to see how much that would affect each team. So what I did is I went and I did a Trick Room. So I did a Snorlax, and then I did an Arcanine, and then I did a Gyarados. Now what I'm doing is I'm looking at the normal moves, and then I'm doing them as Z moves to try to get them kind of comparable to maybe what Dynamax moves will be, just so I can see maybe what it'll take. So first off, Porygon 2, it just straight up just get KOs. I use the same spread for both Dusclops and Porygon 2, and obviously to your needs you can make what you want, but at this junction, Porygon loses to a Snorlax. It can take a high horsepower. It takes about 70 to 83, and a wild charge is 67 to 79. On the other hand, Dusclops obviously doesn't take anything. It takes, and I've noticed that with most of these damage calcs, that Dusclops takes maybe like 1% less, you know. Like, it's not really gonna matter if it's 1% less, but it's still just kind of silly. Like 67 to 79, 66 to 78. You know, and like I said before, this is something that Dusclops has over Porygon 2, is it can Will-O-Wisp the Snorlax and really just neuter it. So like if it's burned, yeah, you're looking at a 3-hit KO, and on the second hit you can just pain split and get all of your HP back. Like, it's not gonna be a problem, not even a little bit, you know. So that's the damage calc between the two. Porygon 2 loses the Snorlax, but everything else takes maybe about 1% difference, you know. So let's go ahead and look at the Arcanines. Okay, so looking at Porygon 2, this is just the Life Orb Arcanine off of TT, you know, Trainer Tower. And close combat obviously does the most because it's a normal type, but like, let's say a Flare Blitz, guaranteed 3-hit KO at this juncture. Tri Attack, doing a good 30-37, and most don't run that. Thunderbolt doing a good 23 to 28. You know, it is what it is. And then like, let's say like it's a Dynamaxed Life Orb Arcanine. So like we use a Z move here. A Flare Blitz is going to do 65 to 77. Now let's look at the Dusclops. So Dusclops, 40 to 48. Nightshade's doing about, yeah, 30%. It's a 4-hit KO. So you're just kind of chunking it a little bit, wearing it down. I think Porygon 2, yeah, I mean, Thunderbolt does almost comparable. And let's say it's a Dynamax Life Orb Arcanine. 64 to 67. No, 64 to 76. There we go. Yeah, 1% difference on everything. 1% difference. That's actually really silly. Now let's look at the Gyarados. Okay, this is the Gyarados. It's another one of the Intimidators that we have in Sword and Shield. By the way, all these calcs are calcs that are relevant to Sword and Shield. I didn't do anything that's really not in there, unless I just wanted to do it for fun. But this is like a Jolly, just a standard, and this is Mega Gyarados. So let's look at just a regular Gyarados. So a regular Gyarados, yeah, so Waterfall, 22 to 27, Z move, Dynamax, 44 to 53, you know, so nothing crazy. And then let's look at this one. So this is 22 to 27, 44 to 53, 44 to 53. That one's actually the same. That's interesting. Usually all of them are just a little bit different. Huh. The difference here, and this is what I was saying, where Porygon 2 doesn't have to worry about crunch from dark types and ghost type moves. But on the other hand, Dusclops does. So crunch actually does a good amount of damage. It can 3-hit KO. It's a coin flip. But like I said, if you get at the Trick Room and you burn him, you got nothing to worry about. Nothing to worry about at all. Porygon has the Thunderbolt, which can do another thing, but like I said, Nightshade, 4-hit KO. You chunk it, you're doing damage, and you don't have to worry about Intimidate or Snarls, which is nice. One last calc that I wanted to do just for funsies. There we go. One thing I wanted to do just for fun was to compare it to the behemoth of Choice Band Animate Mega Rayquaza. And it does 71 to 84, 71 to 84, so it's the same. Thunder Ice Beam does 37 to 46. 4-hit KO. Everything is a 4-hit KO. Huh. Anything else I want to try to test it against? It's strong in here. Ugh, Machamp. That is not going to be fun. So, final thoughts. Do I think Dusclops is good? Yeah, I do. I think it is. I think it actually could be really good on the right teams. Barring there isn't Porygon 2 in the game, or maybe a really bulky new Pokemon that could be a Trick Room setter. I think Dusclops could be an excellent choice as a Trick Room setter. With the right support, like with Porygon, you need to worry about taunt, you need to worry about super effective moves. Machamp is in the game, and there's other strong fighting types in the game, so you got to watch out for them. You got Gengar in here. You got to watch out for Dynamax Gengar's strong double moves. So Follow Me users, Rage Powder users, Fake Out users, things like that are going to be really beneficial to your teams. He'll also probably be competing with Mimikyu, which is also in the game, which also learns Trick Room and could be a great Trick Room setter. I just think that Dusclops could be better than Mimikyu because it has really slow Will-O-Wisp, 4 shots everything, with Nightshade, so you're always doing consistent damage regardless of stat buffs and regardless of your mind. Like if you're intimidated or snarled, like you are always doing 50 damage, 4-shotting everything. Whereas Porygon 2, that might not be the case. So decide for yourself what you think about it. I think it could be really good, and I actually am really looking forward to using it. I'm definitely going to build a Dusclops team and see how it works. But that's going to be all for this video, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed it. I know that it was kind of everywhere, but I think it could be good. The calcs were very similar. Porygon 2 and Dusclops were taking almost the exact same damage from everything. They just have their different roles that they fill. So if you want to use it, I say go for it because I think it could be really fun. But that's going to be all for today, guys. I hope that you are going to have a good time, and I will see you in the next one.